All right, peace and blessings, everybody. This is Rob YB Youngblood, President of Sales for Self-Publishing 30 Days, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Authors podcast, the Authors Spotlight podcast. And let me tell you something. If you have ever listened to a podcast or if you've ever done a podcast, you know that there's always glitches. And so, we had to deal with some glitches here today. But I'm so excited to have our guest, Aniah Taylor, with us, who has not only been extremely patient, but he is also serving as a part of our team today. It's a little inside joke on he knows about it. So, Gary, welcome to the Author Spotlight podcast, Self-Published in 30 Days. Welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and then we'll get into a little bit about your book.
Yes, sir. Rob, I appreciate you having me on, man. I understand the things that pop up during technical difficulties for our podcasting, man. So I definitely understand that. But for those who don't know, my name is Trey Taylor. I'm a licensed clinical social worker here in Caroline County, Virginia. I'm an owner of my own private practice where I provide therapy for Black men as well. And then also I'm a podcaster of two podcasts, Everybody Relax, where I talk about social work and mental health. And then also called Free Smoke Podcast with my friends, where we do kind of more of a journalistic type of topics and stuff like that. I'm an author as well, published author in 2016, 2017 of You Good Fam, community advocate, deacon at my church, husband, father, and everything else in between, man. So wear a lot of hats.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so you go by Trey. Is that because you're the third, or is there a specific purpose behind your name?
So I'm not the third, but my middle name is Tremaine, and so Trey is short for Tremaine. So I think the nurse in the hospital gave me that nickname, and it just kind of stuck ever since going forward. So yeah.
Well, kudos to you for operating in the lane that you operate. Social work is so important, and the therapists and folks that's in that human services space is so critical. What got you into your career field?
Realistically though, I was supposed to be going to the league and playing NBA basketball.
Really?
That
Really?
was my dream, but that didn't pan out. Of course, I went to school for business at first, and then just started looking at psychology as a major, and was really interested about how people work, and then that transferred into social work, and then I've been in the field for mental health about 10 years, and I've been doing social work for the past six. So, I just have a passion for helping people, and I've always asked the question, why do people behave or move the way they do? And I think that was the kind of the starting point for what I never even knew was going to be a social worker. So
Yeah. It's so important that we have folks in that space because, as one of my mentors and coaches say, we all need some help. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? We all need some help. So let's get into your book. Tell us what's the title of the book and what is the purpose behind the book that you wrote.
yeah. So the book is called "You Good Fam." I published it in 2017, I believe. And it's a book about mental health in the Black community. And so it was funny is that I've never been a great writer. I've never been a great public speaker. But I find that now at this in this day and time, that's majority of what I do during my regular day shift or after that. And so, but I wanted to write a book for us in the Black community around mental health. With my experience working in the field of mental health and the work that I was doing, I found out like for us as Black folks, we didn't understand or have the proper education around what mental health was. And so there was barriers in place as far as treatment concerns were, understanding what mental health looks like for us as Black folks, or Black individuals versus everybody else. And so as I was witnessing that, I was writing blogs about it at first on my WordPress, just touching on different stuff like that. And I said, you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and make this a book. And I took some of those blog pieces, compiled them, edited them up into chapters, added some new chapters as well, and really got this book out here, man. And just because I wanted a tool for us to be able to understand mental health a little bit better so that we can get the proper access to treatment that we need and then also know what we needed as well.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. It's greatly appreciated, man. So, what was your experience like with publishing the book? What path did you choose to
Mhm.
get to doing the book, and what was your process like?
So, ironically, right, my friend, he was always big into publishing books and talking about books. And so him and his sister, they ended up creating their own publishing company called Lift Bridge Publishing up in Maryland. And so
Hmm.
what they do is they do kind of like a hybrid publishing where it's still self-publishing, but they help get it kind of squared away from the ISBN numbers, formatting
Yep.
and things of that nature. And so,
Yep.
I went with them and did that because I knew them, and I had a close relationship with them, and they walked me through the whole process. So I didn't do a traditional publisher route. It was more so hybrid self-publishing with a publishing entity, and they
Hmm.
they they got everything, ISBN numbers. They got it on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. I had it on my website. I had a graphic designer do my cover, stuff like that. I had a friend that I was writing for that did my editing, and then just built it out from there. The process was tough. It was interesting because it was my first time moving into this space. There was times where I had a set version of the book. It was probably supposed to be 90 something pages. I chopped it down to about 40 or 50 because I really wanted a small, quick read and didn't want to overwhelm people with this type of stuff. And so I didn't want to overwhelm people or everybody with all this information because it can get very, very, very dense. And so I actually had 90 pages. I cut it down. Then next thing I did, I actually had something in the book that I needed to take out, and so that cost me more money. So I had a little delay
Hmm.
on that piece. And so the process was fun. It was challenging. It was interesting. But once you get it published and done, it's like a whole different. A big weight is off your shoulder, and you have something physical where you can touch and give to people.
Yeah, we're very familiar with that hybrid model at self-published in 30 days. Understanding how we provide that concierge service and supporting that author and helping them go through the process. So, what is the outcome? What are you looking to accomplish with this book? Obviously, you're in the social work space, the mental health space. What is the biggest outcome that you want this book to have?
I really want this book to be able to help people understand, help us in the Black community understand more about mental health,
Mhm.
um, reducing the stigma around treatment, reducing the stigma around what it means to get mental health treatment. You're not necessarily crazy if you need to go get help and get therapy or get counseling. I wanted to, destigmatize the mental health around topics around the Black church and mental health, talking about that, suicide prevention, talking about, the conversations around folks who have, deal with suicide. As you know, like our young boys and young girls, the suicide rate is extremely high in the last couple of years. So I wanted to I want that educational piece to be the foundation, so we can build off it on, so we can get the proper treatment and education we need around mental health, so we can take care of ourselves, take care of our family members, take care of our community, and hopefully stop that generational trauma that that's been with us for quite some time. So that's the
Yeah.
the purpose behind it and the goal of it, outcome.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So, where can people find you, and how can they get their hands on your book?
Yeah, so you can go ahead to my website is www.uphold318.com. You go to the shop, you can find the book there. I'm also on Instagram, retro_GT, Twitter, retro_GT, and LinkedIn, Gary T. Taylor, license LCSW. And the book it was on Amazon, but if you know anything about like how Amazon works, you got to keep it selling in order to keep it on there. So I moved it over to my actual website, and so like I said, it's there right there. You can find it all there. So
So, who do you look to? So say, for example, if your ideal client or reader was listening to this podcast, who would that be? And, what would you say to them to compel them to pick up your book?
um, it's interesting because I tried to make that book. Um, I tried to make it palatable for all ages, and I was thinking about my dad's age group. I was thinking about my mom's age group. I was thinking about my age group, and I was thinking about younger. So, um, I would say it's a short, simple read. And I know mental health sometimes gets us all up in arms, and we get scared, and we get fearful. We don't want to be vulnerable. But I promise you that if you pick it up, it's only 50 some pages, an easy, simple read. And I think it will help you tap into the things you want to tap into, and get and possibly seek out some other things. Or if not, do some more self evaluation on what you got, what you need to do to make sure that your mental is in the best space possible. So,
Yeah.
that's what I think is that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So as we land the plane, where do you see yourself in the future? Like, what are your future goals as an author?
Well, I'm in the process in the talks of possibly publishing another book. I think I'm gonna do another one, a little bit more personal about my journey as far as how I dealt with my own mental health struggles, and providing some clinical context in that aspect as well from a therapist component. So I see myself hopefully, what I'm saying, you know, building a bigger platform with this second book, learning along the way some marketing aspects and things that I didn't catch on last time. And then hopefully, doing more speaking engagements around the topic of mental health. That's what I'm hoping out of the next couple of years from this.
Okay. Any final words that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, if you're thinking about writing your book, or you feel as though you're not capable of writing the book, what I'm saying, it's very simple to do. All you have to do is just do it. And that's coming from somebody who wasn't the best writer, didn't wasn't the best speaker as well, but ended up saying, forget it, I'm gonna write my story and tell my story and share my views so that I can help somebody else. Because you never know what your story will do for somebody else. So I say just do it.
That's good. That's good. One final question: if I was paying for it, right? If I was writing a check out of self-publishing 30 days budget, and you had the opportunity to go anywhere in the world to write your next book, where would you go?
To write my next book.
Yeah. What part of the world would you go to if I was paying for it?
Mm, I would stay right in the house or in my office, and I just because I find peace right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
find peace. I was thinking about other places, but I don't pull from a lot of places. I like to control my environment as much as possible.
Yeah, I've asked this question to a number of authors, aspiring authors. I had one person say, Africa, just drop me anywhere in Africa.
Uh,
People talk about the Caribbean, but I like that. So you would just stay right there in Caroline County and get that next book done.
yep, yes indeed.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, folks, we've wrapped up another episode of the Author Spotlight Self-Publishing 30 Days podcast with Gary Trey Taylor. So excited about the success that he's going to have with Impact and Live with his book. Definitely support him. And listen, be on the lookout for his next upcoming project. Make sure you follow him on all the platforms that he mentioned. And remember, with Self-Publishing 30 Days, this is a year for your new book. But you want to be encouraged, be blessed, but most of all, keep the faith, share the faith, and remember, your gift will make room for you. We'll see you next time. Peace.